Hello and welcome back to the Dysfunctional Podcast. So, I first wanted to start off by saying if you're watching the video version, I'm sorry that the lighting is bad. I usually record these during the day, but it's like 7 right now, so the lighting's bad. But I was actually motivated to make a podcast outline and record a podcast, so I had to take the chance when I could. So, yeah. So, 2023 has been a pretty good year, I would say. I mean, I have pretty low expectations because for me, nothing could be worse than 2022, which was an absolutely awful year for me. Today, I'm going to be doing a reflection of this year. I'm going to be talking about what my biggest accomplishments were in 2023, what I learned about myself in 2023, what challenges I overcame, my favorite moments of 2023, and why I think New Year's resolutions are dumb. First, we're going to talk about my accomplishments for this year. Last year, I made 2 goals. Notice how I didn't say resolutions, and we'll talk about that later. One of them was to start a podcast, and then one of them was to go to therapy. And I did both of those things. Yay! I really like, with this podcast, I love having a hobby now that I don't really do sports anymore. So yeah, it's just been really nice. What I need to work on in 2024 with my podcast, though, is being more consistent, but I'm really proud of myself for posting the first episode and letting my insecure side go for a little bit, because that was just hard, because I am still in high school, so I was scared that everyone was going to think it was dumb and I was going to get made fun of, but it actually went over pretty well, so that was really nice. And then my next goal was to go to therapy, which I did. I'm someone where it's just really hard for me to ask for help. And it took a lot to admit that I needed it, but I'm glad that I did because therapy has been really beneficial for me. So, I've talked about therapy a lot on this podcast, so I won't say that much about it, but I will say that if you've been thinking about it, but you're scared to like ask your parent or your guardian or whatever, like, it is so worth it, and you might not find like the perfect therapist the first time, but it seriously is so worth it. So just something for you to think about. Next, I'm going to be talking about what I learned in 2023. One of the things I learned in 2023 is it's not worth it to be petty. Like I said earlier, 2022 was the hardest year for me so far. A lot of things just happened that year that I wish I handled better. Yeah, I didn't handle them in the worst way, but I definitely could have gone without doing or saying some things. I feel like I was just healing from certain situations, and I held grudges and said a lot of petty things. I feel like I was just so hurt that I didn't realize that I could have been doing something wrong. Yeah, and it's not me like saying my feelings were valid, but I feel like I could have gone about some things in a different way, which I feel like is just a part of maturing. But yeah, it took a lot of time for me to find forgiveness for the people who hurt me, which is definitely something that I'm still working on, but that's normal. I just feel like I've matured and healed enough to realize my faults. Yeah, and I've kind of just learned to give people more grace in the future. Another thing I learned in 2023 is how bad my social anxiety is. I've struggled in social situations since I was little, but I don't think I like really realized it as much as I did this year. And maybe it's probably because it's getting worse, but I noticed that I would just like dread social events, and I would just constantly think about what I was saying and convince myself that what I was saying was wrong or that it was stupid and that everyone thought it was stupid. Um, yeah, that's just the way that I could explain social anxiety. Is just you think that literally everything that comes out of your mouth is just like wrong. And I've always been like a pretty quiet person, but like I said before, I've just noticed it more this year. Like I'd literally say something normal and then I'd be like stupid. Like it was, yeah, it's bad. So that's definitely something I'm going to work on in 2024. Next thing I'm going to be talking about is the challenges I overcame in 2023. 2023 was a big mental health year for me. What I mean by that is that I began to get help for my anxiety and depression. And this might not make sense to some people, but I think just getting up and going to school was a big challenge that I overcame this year. I just get really anxious in school, and I don't know. I just feel like it brings out the worst in me. So when I had the option to stay home and didn't, I felt very proud of myself. Another challenge that I overcame in 2023 was being less codependent. I am probably the most codependent person I know. Like, it's really bad. And it's something that I'm still obviously working on. I've listened to like twins and triplets just talk about how they can't go anywhere without their twin or their triplets or their triplet siblings. And I heavily relate to that. I also just feel like I'm also like codependent with my friends too. Going to the store or the gas station, which is more understandable, obviously, because gas stations are sketch, especially if you're a teenage girl. But even that is hard for me. Like running errands that a lot of people run by myself is hard. And that sounds weird, but if you have a twin or you're a triplet, you would understand. Anytime I just went out and ran errands by myself, I felt proud. So yeah, that's definitely something I'm going to continue to work on in 2024. Next, I'm going to be talking about my favorite moments of 2023. Number 1 is I went to Europe. Yeah, I almost said I went to Swans. I went to France and Switzerland for a school trip. I went with my friends too, so that made it even more fun. And I really loved Switzerland and would definitely go back there. I've talked about this before, but like Paris is definitely not for me, but I feel like other parts of France I would really like. We went to Nice and I really liked that. So yeah, but Switzerland, I connect with Switzerland on a deep level. I loved it. I feel like I've been to a lot of places, but I also feel like I haven't been to a lot of places, which doesn't make sense, but I just feel like experiencing other cultures was really cool. Number 2 of my favorite moments is that I started a podcast. This was just something that I wanted to do forever, and I'm glad that I accomplished that. Number 3, okay, the next couple are just a bunch of concerts that I'm going to talk about. Number 3 is that I went to a Joshua Bassett concert, which was crazy. Literally one of the best days ever. There's just something about going to a smaller venue that makes it feel so much more personal, and I feel like he interacts with the crowd a lot. So I think just realizing that he was a human and me being a fan of him for so long was crazy. I could literally go on and on about how much I loved it. It was great. Also, I need him to drop the album. I've been waiting for like 3 years. So I just love the human that he is. He's like the most genuine human being, I swear. Number 4 is going to the Eras Tour. If I didn't include this, I feel like I would be crazy. Like, it is a full-on production. And I can't even process, like, how talented she is and how much stamina she has. That's like a what? Like a 2-3 hour show? I just think that that's crazy. And she sounds great. She does everything great. Like, she's literally not human. Genuinely, also one of the best days. I had the best time. Number 5 of my favorite moments of 2023, and this is the last one too, because I was gonna do more, but I feel like 5 is a good number. So, my last one is that I went to Florida. A lot of people complain about the humidity, but I thought it was great. It did great things for my hair, and I just thought it was really cute. So the last part of this podcast is I'm going to be talking about why I think New Year's resolutions are dumb. I think it's just the fact that so many people set unattainable expectations and then get upset when they don't accomplish them is what gets me. What I do is I set attainable goals for the year. Like I said earlier, my goals last year were start a podcast and go to therapy. And this is just better because it doesn't make you feel bad if you don't accomplish your New Year's resolution. And that's all I have for this episode. I hope you all have a good New Year, and I hope you're going to set attainable goals for 2024. Okay? See you in 2024, which is crazy. Okay, bye!